This network was. Okay. Right. Oh, Karen dropped out. All right. Well, I guess meanwhile, while Karen is rejoining, you guys could tell me a little bit about what you want to learn, or what the expectations are. All right, and Marlon is joining us.
I want to be able to build websites, but interactive websites. So I want to be able to put something together where people could sign up
Right.
and have like verification codes sent to them. Um, and you have that level of back and forth from the website, like things that happen automatically, kind of.
Right.
I want to be able to program our website so that, let's say I want to put some content up on it, I could build something or put something in place that I just drag. I just drag, like, let's say some photos, name them a certain way, and then the website or the tool would be able to categorize them depending on the name of the file itself, like, those types of things. Basically, creating utilities that will make things easier um, in terms of interacting with websites, and because it's like right now, things just seem so cumbersome. I prefer to put in a lot of work into creating a tool that makes things a lot easier, so that moving forward it will be just probably a couple clicks, and you'll be able to get a lot done.
Right. So I understand that, and I'm glad you shared that because I know how difficult it can be sometimes, especially when accessibility isn't really a major consideration, right? And I mean, you want to build something that's useful for you. That I can definitely help you with. The in terms of like the authentication and sign up and stuff like that, you can do it simple, but you can do it really really complex, right? Or there's a sort of like a mix of the two, right? Now the reason why things get really complicated with with just creating like logins and stuff like that is because we have a lot of cyber criminals, right? Let's just put it that way. And in order to keep people's identities and access and stuff safe, we have created a really, really complicated way of doing that. But I think within recent times, people have made it a little simpler in that you don't have to have multiple logins and stuff like that. You don't have to remember passwords, a lot of passwords, I should say. But it has also become a little bit more complicated because you have, for example, multi-factor authentication, which I don't necessarily think is very accessible for most persons, especially if you have to log in, then you have to put a code, and then you have to verify it on your phone before you could actually access the account, right? So you guys could share with me some of your challenges in terms of that whole process. Another thing that is challenging now is the captures. So in order for you to post anything on a site, you need to have you need to verify either using your voice to like say, okay, maybe it might be these letters XYZ, or what did you see on the page, and you have to kind of like figure out what it is. And but the reason for that is you have a lot of spam, right? And when I say a lot of spam from the websites, usually you could get like 10 random pieces of spam a day or more, depending on how popular a website is. And in terms of uh, for hacking, sometimes you can get 100 or more what they call brute force attacks, where you put in hundreds or even thousands of password attempts just to get into your account. So that is probably one of the major reasons why it has gotten a little bit more difficult.
What about doing something like a certain amount of attempts before the account is locked down, and then you have to go through the entire verification process again? So you give like 5 opportunities, so you wouldn't get the brute force. Well, the potential for brute force wouldn't be there. You kind of eradicate it, as opposed to somebody could just try passwords um, forever. Then you set it up in a way that five password attempts incorrect attempts would mean the account is locked down. Then you have to go into already verify from your phone and type in different codes and everything like that.
Well, yes. So I mean that is one of the things that people have implemented, and I have it on one of my site, well, a few of my sites as well, right? Now, sometimes I would build websites using WordPress, but I could build websites from scratch. It's just that it doesn't necessarily be feasible for me to build everything from scratch, right?
Right.
So you could do what you just said, have a limited amount of login tries, and then have them go through the process. Now, it depends on how secure you need your website to be, right? For some things like the bank, that might necessarily be feasible uh, because people can find other ways in which to get your passwords. So I was mentioning to Marlon before, earlier today, that I would try to cover a little bit of cybersecurity, because I know cybersecurity, in the process of trying to make websites more secure, they've made it inaccessible, right?
Right.
Um, but the thing is, there's so many different ways in which people try to hack into your accounts, um, and this. I mean, you have to like literally learn protocols and know the computers and the servers really in depth to be able to protect your um your websites and your assets, right? So I'll give you some examples of attacks that people do, right? There's something called cache poisoning or app cache poisoning, which is at the protocol layer, right? Now,
Mhm.
how your computers work is, in order for you to access a website, you need to know where that website is located. And so there's something called an IP address.
Right.
And you have to look up that IP address in a DNS server in order to know where that site is. And then you're going to use something called a TC, transmission control protocol, in order to send your packets and request that site, right? And then you could send information to and from once the connection is made. One
Right.
of the attacks that an adversary can do is called a man in the middle attack, right? In that, instead of you going directly to the website and getting that information, it can position itself as either a rogue DNS server, right? And it takes over a server, and then it sends you information that to go through them, right? So instead of you going through the normal
Hello?
routers, you go through one of their routers and they can pull information from you and read everything, right?
Hello?
Hi, you hear me?
Okay, yes. Karen just said that his internet dropped. He's trying to reconnect.
Oh,
By
okay, sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Then there's, so you have man in the middle attacks. I talked about brute force attacks, right? Where people guess your
So the man
password.
in the middle is where they capture your packets.
Yes, so they can
So
capture
that's
your
like when,
packets
let's say, I
and
put up
analyze it.
something on a device, and you could connect to the internet through my device. I have something on my device getting those packets and decrypting them.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
exactly,
understand.
right? And there are different types of man-in-the-middle attacks, right? So you could do it on the DNS end,
Hmm.
where you take over a DNS server, which is very scary because in order for you to know where any website is, you need to go through a DNS server, right?
Oh.
You can you can redirect someone from a website. So like let's say you wanted to look up Facebook, you could actually um, put yourself in the middle between there and Facebook by doing a reader. You could hack the website and then do a change to the A records, right? So it will say, okay, this is you go into this other website that looks like yours, and then you get all the information. So it's kind of like phishing, but at the same time, it's you're putting yourself in between the person and the site that you want to go to, and then you can do a redirect to the actual site. And then, of course, there's what they call app cache poisoning, which is the records that are stored on your computer. So when the person looks up the DNS record, it keeps a record of where that IP address is located. And that no, so when you need to find Facebook again, you don't go back and go to the DNS server. You go into your cache, right? But if that person um, tells you that let's say they're able to change the record on your computer, then they can tell you where to go, right? In order to access the website. So there's so many different ways in which people could get onto your computer, either
Wow.
to study what you're doing and to look at it, or they could actually hack into your computer itself. Now, if your IP address is known, then they can use something like a tool called Interpreter. Um, what's the name of it again? The the software is called Interpreter, but
Uh,
essentially what it can do is to hack into send what they call a payload, which is like a little virus um, or Trojan that will be able to get into your computer, and then you could the, turn off the firewall, right? And once you have access to the computer remotely, you can actually use what they call a remote desktop protocol to control access to that computer. So for most of us, because we don't see what's going on on the root of the computer, right? Until we just see what is happening on the interface, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, right? And so somebody could literally be doing like keyloggers and getting your passwords that way, right? So many different ways. So it's difficult to, I would say sometimes cybersecurity and accessibility are at odds to some extent. But we will see how we could try to make it a little bit more feasible um, in terms of what are some of the solutions that I guess you'll come up with, and maybe it might even inform, how we could approach, new ways of actually securing websites, right? Right. So Marlon is here. You guys already have Visual Studio Code installed. Marlon, let me share a link again because I wanted to go onto the site and install Visual Studio Code. All right. I'm gonna share that. Tell me if you got it.
I got something just now, so I'll go and see if that website.
All right. All right. So once you guys have, well, you guys have Visual Studio Code installed. What I want you to do now is to, no, somebody, don't ask me that. Is to install some extensions, right? So one of the
Hello.
extensions that we had to look for is called Live Share.
Hi, are you all hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah, back in action. I don't
All
know
right.
why my
So
internet just stopped all of a sudden. Yeah,
we didn't move forward. We were just talking a little bit further, Karen, about cybersecurity.
mm-hmm. Aaron, you get through with yours?
Yeah, I'm on now.
I jump into my Visual Studio.
So I'm using my phone has my microphone and my computer has my everything else.
Right.
Right.
All right. If you guys are interested in cybersecurity, I'm going to share a video called, on the framework called Metasploit. Metasploit allows you to do cybersecurity as well as cyber attacks, right? So it's really meant for security professionals to analyze security vulnerabilities in software.
Okay. So if I want, if I want to get what you call it, the settings button, to update my stud, to update my code, my VS code, I'll have a tab, right? Tab until I get it or something. Settings.
So just now, let me just turn on some control. All right, so I'm in.
No, file submenu. See help submenu. Let me see what the help submenu is. I'm not sure why it is speaking here.
Could you also make the visual?
All right, you should
basic
hear
coding,
manage tab selected manage. Right, when you press enter on that, you press down.
Yeah, that's not showing. You're tapping, right?
Yeah, you have to tab. So when you open Visual Studio Code tab,
Alien Bell.
that's not. I'll just do it today.
Oh.
Right, so you're looking to get manage toolbar, right? Listen, tab until you hear manage toolbar.
Okay. That's not. I didn't get I'm not tap though. My tab when I tap, I'm not hearing anything. But in the help menu, I don't know if this might help.
All right, share your screen so I can see what you do. Rather than.
Let's see. Okay, yes.
Right.
Series. A series start update. All right, imagine. I'm gonna share my screen. I think around one the VS Code link. And there's around what? Around that's
Yes,
what you want?
please.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the metaverse GitHub, I think.
Yeah, so it's got Metasploit, and Metasploit allows you to run mTipiter. All right. All right, Karen. So go ahead and tap.
Yeah.
You have to come out of that. So press Control M to come out of the main window.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's why. So now I'm gonna press tab. Notifications. Yes. No. What that yes and no is about?
Oh, okay. It says, are you using a screen reader to
Oh,
operate
click
VS
yes.
Code? Yeah, hit yes. Yeah.
All right. All right. So let
Right.
me continue tapping.
All right. So I see you now. Go ahead and tap.
Search CTRL source control CTRL shift T button source control run CTRL shift T button run CTRL shift T extensions CTRL shift X button extension manage toolbar
Right. Hit enter now.
Yeah.
menu
All right. Use the up and down arrow keys
Uh-huh.
command
and go down
settings CTRL
one more time. Again, down, further down.
settings online services set extension CTRL shift X 10
Go down. Don't worry. I see in the update report. So keep going down.
CTRL user snippet 7 of color theme CTRL
Um,
icon theme restart the
right.
run
Good. Press enter now. Restart the update.
setup Visual Studio Code dialog 0%
Oh,
Visual Studio Code
I saw that any basic help menu before I press Control M to close whatever it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
available
But this
list
area is accessible. Eh?
Visual Studio Code document
Yes. Right. So to switch between the coding area, which is where you were at the start, and you are now, and to go back into the other menus, you have to press Control M.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right.
So other than that, you should be fine. So that's basically how to navigate. Yeah. Marlon, give me some feedback in terms of where you reach.
Okay, so after what I have to do here now? Just leave it like that, or it's updated already?
It's finished
After
updating.
restart.
So
Okay,
no,
good.
it restarted already. So what I
All right.
want you to do now is to go and install some plugins, some extensions, I should say.
Don't forget
Right.
Aaron want the Visual Studio link, right?
The Visual Studio Code link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't for some reason I'm not getting to browse back to the link that they sent previously. The only one I'm seeing here is the the
Metasploit.
GitHub link.
Okay.
Metasploit, yeah. I think it's
All right.
because I only just logged in on my computer, so I wasn't here when you sent the first message.
Okay. Let me just send back off. Okay. Right. So that's,
Malan, call to Malan.
yeah, Marlon is on the code.
Yeah, I'm here.
Where you
I'm
be?
now downloading. I'm now downloading it to the Mac here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna send back this code now. Link. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let me know if you get it. I'll just repost the visuals, code.visualstudio.com.
All right, so I'm just downloading it on this disgusting flow speed. Ugh.
Before I came back in the second rounds, Malan, I had an outage on my Wi-Fi. Just dropped like that, and then I wasn't
Yeah,
even
we
seeing
see.
network.
Should that cannot handle fully digital kind of thing.
Society.
Have the infrastructure for that.
That's true. I mean,
We can't do that at all.
we
You could talk it, but we can't do that.
yeah, we the infrastructure isn't fully there yet. I mean, we do have
No.
quite a lot of people who you know from the skills. I mean, basic digital literacy skills, but not necessarily the infrastructure or the depth of knowledge in other areas to be a fully digital society.
Exactly. A simple thing like But that blackout the other day, that was from outside some cable. The whole country just shut down. Practically, yeah. I see. Look at that.
Somebody say a shark by the chorus.
Well, sure, I don't know. Sure, I don't
That'll
know.
happen
Because one
sometimes,
thing
though.
good at
Yeah.
be good at making up things, you know.
Trinidad. No,
Make it
that is
up to
something
you.
that happens worldwide with those offshore
Yeah.
cables that is linked the world's internet. The frequencies that run through the cable does attract sharks.
Yeah, the shark want the internet access. They can't get vaccine. Shark want to get access.
Shark must have some kind of digital something down there.
Yeah, somebody else send them some money. You understand? They want to wait until the Suzu have blue swim see and check.
Yeah.
You see, and they said that always I was just new song make the gas station explode.
All right.
Adele. You're wrong, right?
All right. Yeah, his mic is just off for now.
Okay, right. All right. Sean, you tell me where to get the plugins for the extensions.
All right. So what I want you to do next, and you guys, you also need to install the same extensions, right?
Right.
All right. So you're gonna tab back up, right? So right now you would be, well, actually you would have to switch out to that with release notes.
Escape, right?
Yeah, you'll have to escape that. Go back into the menu and tab until you hear extensions.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
All right.
Release notes 1.5. Context OC. Release notes.
EAP is 9.1%.
You end up closing the whole thing now.
Yeah. Open it up.
Visual Studio Code. Document name.
Control M, right?
Yeah, Control M to come out of the window.
So yeah, tab now.
Right, yeah. So tab 1, 2, I'll tell you when to stop. Right, right, the extensions. Good. Hit an extensions. Right. So I want you to install the Python extension.
Fix the TV, please. Fix the TV.
Fix the
Right.
TV.
Right.
You guys have Python installed?
No.
So right now we installing the extensions. We then have to install the different languages, right?
No problem. So what to do? See.
All right. So use the arrow key to go down.
Install section button, right?
Yeah, and the install right now Python is highlighted. So I just want you to go down and install the Python extension. So use the arrow key to go down.
Search extensions and marketplace editor as autocomplete multi-line name. Install section button expanded.
Is it going now? Nope.
No.
All right. But go back up. Press the arrow key up once.
No, nothing. I'm probably on the wrong spot.
No, I'm seeing it. It's just to get the.
Nothing.
All right. Press tab. Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extensions list. Right.
Right.
Please.
And right. Press down one more time.
Jupyter. Python.
Python. Right. Hit enter.
You can make some tea, please. Thank you.
All right. So it's installing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. So you guys, you all installed Python already, or do I need
Well,
to?
I have it already. Adele, I hope you're here. That you see how we get the extension, how I install my extensions.
Right. So you have Python installed.
How large is Visual Studio's code?
It's just
Over 10 gigs.
No.
No, it's not that large.
I just remember the last things that we installed for Java was like Eclipse and other things were like 22 gigs and stuff like that.
Why?
This one you can use when you add the extensions, that's when it grows. But other than that, it's a fairly small package, but it's very extendable. So you could do any programming language in this.
Oh, okay.
Right? Okay.
But now we don't need no Eclipse running for Java.
No, yeah, so we're not doing Eclipse. Although I used to use Eclipse in the past. But why I wanted to do Visual Studio Code is because one, it's accessible, and two, it has all of the different extensions which I want us to use, right?
Cool.
I want you to look for live share, right? Look for the live share extension.
Me? Sean?
Yes, you, yeah,
All right.
right?
Look for it on the same list right here, right?
You may have to go back, you may have to shift tab and go back up into the search
Right.
bar and
Cool.
type live share.
All right.
Right? What live share allows you to do is for us to share coding at the same time, the same coding window. So you could invite me to join your coding session, and I can make modifications to your code from here.
No. She can make something for me.
Run. Source. Search.
She can make something for me, please.
Selected expanded. Complementary landmark. Search. Type search term and press enter to search edit multi.
Live share, right?
Yeah, live share.
No results.
One word?
Settings for configure exclude.
Yeah, one moment.
No results. No results.
They say no results found.
Live. Okay, two words, live share.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are you making progress?
No, nothing worry. They say no results. I love this.
All right, just now, let me see. Live share. Are you just now? I go back to the extension section. I don't think in extension.
Okay.
Shift tab and come out to there.
Yeah.
No, don't. I don't want to close Visual Studio Code.
Well, I'm there.
All right. Right. So I think you're on the window. Press Control M to go back to, yeah, where you know. Right. Let me just pop over to Malin. Malin, you have Visual Studio Code installed?
Install, I reached 20.9%
Oh,
to
download.
download. Yeah, that's it. My internet is real weird today, boy.
Wow.
It's 20.9%. I don't know what this means. Sure, there's a small download.
It's about 15.9 megabytes on Windows. I don't know how big it is on Mac.
I'm pretty sure it's small, and I know why it's 20.9% for the longest while. I know. We have to tell everybody to take off the devices. But the download this thing.
Notification center. Mixer. Spotlight. Saturday. Battery. 66%. Volume. 56%. Wi-Fi. 4 or 4 bars. With one happy family. Bluetooth. Menu extra. Safari. Documentation for Visual Studio Code. Window. Listen. Link. Toggle navigation. Link. Listen. Link. Visual Studio Code. Show down. 2 item downloads. Table. No selection. In download. PSCode-download.zip. Download entry. PSCode-download.zip. Download entry. 20.9% progress.
All right.
Stop button. 20.9% progress. Show finder. Show finder.
So I'm in the extensions area, so I'm gonna press enter here now, right?
Show finder. Show finder. Reload button. Download has started. Press next. 0.8% progress indicator. Stop button. 0.7% progress. Yes, 1% progress indicator. Stop button. Show 1.3 megabytes of
That extension, live share.
Show finder. 1.7 megabytes of 95.3 megabytes. 144 kilobytes offset. 11 minutes. 35 seconds. Show finder. Stop button. 2.4% progress indicator. Stop button. Show finder. 2.4 megabytes of 95.3 megabytes. 111 kilobytes offset. 13 minutes. 52 seconds remaining.
But I don't know if your screen frozen because I'm not seeing anything moving.
Me talking, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just see. Hold on. Let me see. You seen it there now?
Yeah. So I see. Okay. All right. So I see live share, but then I seen it says you do not have an open or specified folder. Are you that's not it. All right. Let me see if I can do remote. All right. I'm gonna request remote control. So just give me
Yeah.
access.
You see this one?
Complementary landmark. Search actions 4. Compose. Sean Melville is requesting remote control of your screen window. You can regain control at any time by clicking on your screen. Approve button. Taskbar. Waiting for Sean Melville to control your screen alert.
Yeah, Sean, go ahead.
All right. So
Desktop list. Visual Studio Code not
Yeah,
selected.
open back.
Sean Melville is controlling your screen alert. Selected.
yeah, opening it up.
Visual Studio Code. Document blank. Application. Main landmark.
Okay.
One. Preview letter at all.
Extensions
Navigation landmark. Active view switcher toolbar. Extensions. CTRL Shift X. Tab. Text
and
extensions. L I V E.
live
Space 100 H A.
here. Right. So it's coming up. So
230
I'm gonna install.
section. Installing extension live share started. An editor is now open with more details on this extension. Extension. Live share Visual Studio Code document. Application. Virtual document.
We have any add-ons to install for accessibility or straight out the box we good?
Straight out of the box is fine. There may be one or two plugins that I'll add for more like coding style, right? To keep consistency in format. All right, let me just, I forgot the name of the plugin, so let me just find it quickly.
Aaron, you can show?
Yeah, it's still cooking.
All right, you guys install the live share? Who have those?
Aaron, you can show? George, you can show?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, nice.
And I know I'll have it already, so. But I don't know if you get through the extensions. I'm not hearing him.
Yeah, I installed both extensions, Python and LiveShare.
Right?
All right.
Marlon, this is Adele Spence, a youth from San Fernando.
In addition to writing code, one of the
Yeah,
main
no, I know.
times they're
I'm
used
from
to
S-
actually
I'm from
document
San
how
Juan,
a
not San
particular
Fernando.
part of the app works. But visually, however, they look all the same. You can see that in my code here. And the first hit right here is the one we want. So I'll install this one. Here is pretty important. About a decision I need to make. It stands out in a nice warning. So let's go ahead and open up the settings for the
There's like a Python link, install additional scripts for Python.
favorite that we want right here. So I'll go ahead and install that. Call. You can put multiple HTTP commands in a single.
Okay, all right. I got it. Format.
The Python extension for VS Code, black and YAP. If you don't already have Pippin, I've already got it. I'm going to search for Python formatting. I need to enable automatic formatting on save. So I'm going to search for format on save. And you can see that right, so AutoPep 8 is already on my machine. Now, if you don't already have it, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to, and this is particularly important in language like Python, where they earlier in the course, that feature evaluate. Let's open up a few lines. We'll send the, and that already run has an effect on subsequent executions. And now I'll select just those two statements, not
Python formatting.
So it's Python, install additional support for Python. That's what I'm clicking on, right? To get the Python stuff.
You just let me see if I can find it, and I'll tell you. You could have it's called REPL, editing Python code. You could actually have it format the code for you, which is what I want, because you wouldn't be able to see if anything goes wrong. Like, let's say for instance there's you intended to put one tab instead of two. If something goes wrong, and in the case of Python where spacing matters, then your code would be buggy, right? So, but if you can automatically format it for you, it takes a little bit of a, it makes it a little bit easier for you because you don't have to visually see where the formatting is.
Okay, so that might be a better thing because sometimes you might forget these spaces, tabs.
Yes. Right.
Put too much.
So that's what I'm looking for, but I just can't remember the name of it. Gosh. This is replicable.
Yes, 17% progress.
70%, Malan? 70?
Auto pip
70, wish. 1-7, boy.
Alright.
We just going to see that anyway.
That's what I want to me.
Stuck on 20.9, and then I can start it over now on 7.
My phone Wi-Fi off, you know. I still let me turn off this thing, yes, because I ain't able.
I don't know.
I don't know, that's probably the problem you have this morning too.
I don't know. I'm paying so much money for internet, and I can't download a bloody 95 point something megabyte application.
Wait, man, that tough.
Yeah, because I live in Zimbabwe or some kind of thing, bush. Somewhere where my router is a banana.
Hey, Gilligan Island, boy.
Boy, I mean, it didn't click again. 17% progress indicator. This is the worst.
Take a evaluate print later. It's called result, right? That should kill that terminal's whole thing. Now, as I keep doing this, a way of trying out some code or experimenting with a few APIs.
What's the name of the other one? Live something?
Live share was one of the
extension for
plugins.
a few different ways to
the extensions, I mean.
Automatic.
All right. You guys have the Python environment installed itself? Let me just find out. I think.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, you have Python installed. Everybody else have Python installed?
I just did it.
Okay, listen. I'm going to post the link to get Python on.
No, Aaron, I'm not sure I'm talking about the actual Python program where you have to run the setup, install the program itself.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No.
Yeah. Adel, you have it then?
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so you're going to run Python 3.9, right? Mm-hmm. All right, we have a couple more programs to install, so. All right, so I just post Python. I guess I can post all the others, and you guys would we would get to them as as you all finish. All right, so Python, I'm gonna post Git, all right, because you need to get Git installed, Git SCM. Okay. I forgot Marlon probably wouldn't be able to get Python from this. So I'm gonna post the Python for
Mac.
Mac, right?
Application, main menu, unlabeled graphic with missing image description, open the context menu, edit clickable level 2 live share, MS clickable lines, 3 million.
You still controlling me, right, Sean?
Yeah, I still can't control you.
Right, cool.
I mean, you could move around, yeah, without me.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So Marlon, I just posted Python for the Mac. All right. Now Marlon would have. You should have Python already installed on your Mac, but what we need is the latest version.
So should I have
Right.
Python?
Yeah, Macs come with Python installed.
Oh.
New share, Alt Shift S button, pause share, Alt T button, annotate button, pause share, Alt T button.
I just pause and share for a minute there, Sean. I just want to check something here.
Sure, go ahead.
So I'm not sure why I'm not getting focused to the chat messages.
Pause share, space, sharing is blocked alert. Annotate button, Sean, remote control button. More drop down button. Talk to button, Sean, stop share, Alt S button, mute, currently unmuted. Audio settings drop down button. Start video, video settings, open participant, more options for participants drop down button. New share, Alt Shift resume share, Alt T button, annotate button. Resume share, Alt T annotate button, remote control button, more drop down button. Window, more drop down button. Remote control annotate button, resume share, Alt T button, new share, all more options for participants, open participant video settings, start video, Alt T audio settings from mute currently and stop share, Alt S button.
Let's stop any share for a minute. That's not.
Zoom expanded alert, Zoom extension, live share Visual Studio Code Go, Zoom cloud meetings go, Zoom cloud meetings window, join a meeting button available. Zoom meeting, Zoom meeting, elapsed alert. Closed alert. Expanded alert, chat text list list, chat text list HTTPS. HTTPS www.ftp-3 HTTPS get SCM.com link. HTTPS www.python.downloads HTTPS get SCM.com link.
Daddy, never mind. You're a Stephanie Ghost.
Okay.
It is a member of Software Freedom Conservancy which handles legal and financial needs.
Wow, so what kind of
Project consultant becoming a supporter. Button dismiss this button. Banner landmark visit.
I don't really like no fans in here.
Navigation
Why would you push something that must have no link?
Download setting level 3 link clients and binary releases below
Push them back and not stone a glass.
This is only
This is going right back. This is going right back. Yours.
Right.
I don't have to close off everything else before installing the Python scripts, right?
No, we shouldn't.
All right.
Why did you pick the glass?
I'm going to rest here.
Right, download Git. So I'm gonna install it one time. Sean, install Git as usual, right?
Yeah, install Git as
normal, like it install any Windows software, right?
yes. All right.
Git 2.2,
Button.
9.2.3, 64, right?
Just now.
Yeah, tem esse litro, esse.
Yeah, Git SCM 2.2, 9.2.
Yeah, correct. Right. Aral, you have it, right? Aaron, you have it?
I just gained it.
Right.
Yeah. So you would use Git in order to like to manage changes in your code, as well as to access any code repository. So for instance, if you want to put up code, or I put up code onto GitHub, you can actually use Git to pull that code down from the repository to your computer and vice versa. You could push that code from your
Upload code
computer
up. Yeah, yeah.
or upload it to the repository.
Okay.
So I have a question. Do you absolutely need that, or is GitHub desktop okay? Because that's what I have.
GitHub Desktop is okay, but you wouldn't be able to access any code from GitHub if you don't have a GitHub account. Well, I should say you'll be able to push code. You could access code from GitHub, right? Just because you don't need to have a GitHub account for that. But if you want to have your own GitHub repository, you would need a GitHub account for that.
That's no problem. I already have one.
Okay, yeah. Why did not install?
Just next. I seen some like Vim. The Git editor.
Okay, so you could choose which Git editor you want to use. If you want, you could use Windows command CMD in the command line tool, or you could use something like VS Code.
On. Show Finder button. Stop button. 17%
Right.
progress indicator.
Or you could use
Stop
Minty.
button.
I think
Show Finder button. Show Finder.
Minty would be a
16.2
good
megabytes of 95.3 megabytes. 14 bytes / sec. 1 hour. 32 minutes.
command
28
line
seconds
tool
remaining.
for you.
Show Finder button. Show Finder. 16.2 megabytes of 95.3 megabytes. 14 bytes / sec. 1 hour. 33 minutes. 19 seconds remaining. Show Finder. Stop button. 17% progress
I see
indicator.
Notepad here too, eh?
Yeah, Notepad is one. But the only thing is Notepad doesn't have like that collaboration, live share and stuff like that. But you
So
could
I could use Video Search, Visual Studio.
yeah, that's the reason why I want Visual Studio Code, is because there's so much things you could do with it.
Right, so I'll choose that.
Button. Show Finder button. Show 16.2 megabytes of 95.3 megabytes. 14 kilobytes / sec. 1 hour. 36
I
minutes.
see Visual
21
Studio
seconds.
Code
16.2
inside us,
megabytes
and
of
I see
95.3 megabytes. 14
I
kilobytes / sec.
see in
1 hour.
VS
36
Code
minutes.
idiom
45 seconds
or
remaining.
something like that. Which one to use? This Visual
Just now,
Studio.
repeat what you said?
Okay, the first one is Visual Studio Code Insiders,
Mm-hmm.
and I see in
You downloading something.
Video VS Codium.
Oh gosh, with CVS Code, yeah. Just share your screen again for me. Let me see what you're talking about.
So, give me this here, this one.
Sign a button. Version 5. Sign a button. Version 5.3. Sign a button. Version 5.3.1. Hit 2.2. Download row 1. Zoom meeting row 1 column 4. Extension. Zoom cloud meeting row. Zoom cloud meeting. Sign a button. Version 5.3.1. 79.
Isn't that?
Show Finder button. Stop button. 17% progress indicator. Show and finder button.
I gotta go down and work on download this way.
Show and finder. 16.2 megabytes.
Man, boy, that ain't done yet.
Flash sec. 1 hour.
It ain't done yet, boy. I don't know what is going on.
Something cooking like a clock on morning.
I see Mark when the download is tick.
Uh.
I can download now, but it's ticking forever.
That's like how NBA is. Go, toot, 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 toot,
Well, you go quite on download Python like I'm download the blast and Visual Studio.
Show and finder button. Show and finder.
And every month I religiously go in flow and give them $200 and something dollars.
Show and finder button. Stop button. 17% progress indicator. Stop button. Show and finder. 6.2 megabytes of 95.2 megabytes. 12 kilobytes last sec. 1 hour. 47 minutes. 40 seconds remaining.
Incorrect email or password alert. Password edit with not password. Keep me sign in button. Sign in with SSO. Sign in with Google button. Title Google Chrome. Sign in Google accounts Google Chrome. Sign in Google account. Heading up one choose an account to continue. List with 7 items. Link there and done this. Link there and done this mail com.
Sign in via the Zoom.
Open Zoom meetings dialog. Cancel button 2 of 2. Open Zoom meetings button 1 of 2. Cancel but open Zoom meeting login with Google Zoom. Click connecting. Alert Zoom cloud meetings window. Zoom cloud meetings window.
Hello?
Zoom window. Zoom window.
Yeah.
I don't see anything yet, Carol.
That's not when Zoom was.
Toggle navigation menu. Empty navigation.
Row 1 column 2. Hit 2.2 extension. Lift arrow Zoom meeting row 1 column 1. Zoom row 1 column 2 window. Tab and home tab selected checked.
Windows box menu. Misspelled menu. Close it.
Meeting
Spelled
window.
menu. Menu.
Leave meeting button. Cancel button.
Line
Zoom
items.
meeting.
Download not starting. Download.
Zoom row 1 column. Hit
Download
2.2
not starting.
extension. Lift
Try
arrow
this.
Zoom meeting row 1 column 1.
Download
Zoom
not
meeting
starting.
button.
Try this link. Direct download link.
Right, man. Sorry.
Direct download link.
You
Okay.
seen it now, right?
Yeah, I seen it. I see. Okay, use VS Code. Yeah. All right.
You'll be
So,
installed it.
I'm on that same page that Karen's on, so once you all figure it out, just let me know and I'll select it as well.
okay, choose the default editor. Switch. Go down. It should have VS Code here. You know. Go down.
That's it. Select our editor.
Okay. Yes, sir. Give me back control.
You want to request it or you've seen that usually also?
Yeah, requesting it. So see if I can help.
Use Visual Studio Code as your default editor, and then use Visual Studio Code inside as your default editor.
Right. Because we want to get Visual Studio Code. Yeah,
So Visual Studio Code.
yeah, we want to give it Visual Studio Code as your main editor.
Alright. What's the difference between the Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio Code Insider?
Actually, I'm not sure what the
So
main
just go with the
difference
code
is.
without the insider at the end to be safe.
Yeah, just use code for
Alright.
now. I do because I don't know what Insider specifically is about.
Alright.
It's a good question. I could always look it up.
Close window. Public relations folder. Documentation. Heading level 3. Intelligent code smart. Intelligent completions for the learn more about. Heading level 2. Topics.
After that, just next.
Yeah, once you finish the installation, then you could go to your terminal window. You type CMD to get to that, right? And type in git -- version. And it should once that works, you know it's installed properly.
All right.
Windows box menu. Heading level 2. Topics.
I'm trying to my NVIDIA screen reader lost the remote access option I guess to me.
All right.
So send it back, send back the remote access.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna request again. Request. All right,
Yeah,
you can
check it
control.
out.
Right, so I have the control.
Right.
Words on open source. Run to heading level 1, 2 items. 3. Download format stable build. Press. Download format stable build. Button. Skip.
You get it right?
Button. Top level.
Yeah, but I'm not able to
Skip. Top level.
control.
Visual
I don't know why.
Toggle navigation. End of. Top. Skip to consent. Top level. Mystic. Toggle navigation. End of. End of. Contact for 2020 Microsoft. Item chooser menu. Download has started. No items in item chooser menu.
See there. See if you can get you.
Design 2020 Microsoft.
Okay, I'll click in. Nothing happening though.
Stop interaction. Download. Table. No selection. Download. PSO dash. PSO dash. PSO dash. PSO. PSO dash.
Right.
4.6 megabytes. 95.3 megabytes. Stop. Reload button.
Oh, okay. Right. So
Okay, no,
right,
I see it here. Visual Studio Code showing I see it. I see it. And also,
right, good.
Stop. Reload button. Show Finder. Show Finder.
You switch. So you might have to tab out it. Okay, good. Next.
Item chooser menu.
Yeah, go ahead.
all right.
Enter.
Let
Right.
Git decide. What is this about?
Oh, that's the branch naming. So it says let Git use its default branch name currently as master for the initial branch in newly created repositories. No, you could use master. That's fine.
No. So okay, let's go to the next.
No, you have it as override. I want you to let Git decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Right. Yeah.
Right, and then you could tab off to those. Right. Reason why master is usually default. No, you can cancel. Go back one. Right. Next.
Leave it here like that, right? I'll show you what to check,
Right.
right?
Git for command line and also from third party. Yeah, you can leave it like that. That's recommended. Next. Right. Yeah, you could use the open SSL. Right. Check out Windows style commit. Yeah. Go ahead. Click next.
Leave everything like that and just stop the next, right?
Yes.
I don't get into right.
Right. Yeah. Next.
Next again. Next again.
Yeah. Next.
Install button, right?
Yeah. Install.
Show Finder.
All on 100%, boys.
This is making sense.
Marlon, you on dial up or?
Well, I trying to figure if it's dial up I paying for. Tell me something I can't download.
Marlon, the connection that you have to Zoom right now is the same connection that you're trying to download with?
Yes.
That is strange because you sound really clear.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
imagine if you didn't run that slowly, we would be hearing you kind of weird right now.
I can figure out
Alright.
what is going
Well, Marlon, here's what. When Karen finishes installing this, you share your screen, and then I'll see how I can help you out.
Well, if my internet crappy, I did how much you can do.
Well, we'll see. What I could probably do is even download it and see if it's a problem with at least let me see if I can troubleshoot.
Okay, alright, cool.
Alright, so see Karen done.
Installing it.
Right, so I guess you could hit launch. At least yeah, you can launch it.
I ain't say anything on launch.
Alright, just go ahead, click on finish.
I'm not viewing the notes, right?
Yeah, you don't need to view the notes. Alright, finish. Right, type. Oh, anyways, I can type it for you. right? Git dash dash version, right? Right. So it would tell you Git version 2.29.2.windows.3, right? So you know that that
Get
is
installed
available,
successfully. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now
So
you
that
could,
command prompt there is normal CMD or is git CMD?
that is a CMD called Minty, but you could use the
Minty.
normal command
CMD.
line. You could use the one in Visual Studio Code because it has its own terminal,
Right. Cool.
right?
All right.
All right,
So
so
we
you could
close off this,
close
right?
that. Yeah, you could close that off.
Restore available close no options. Oh, no FOC. Desktop list. There. Meeting control.
All right, so git install. Right.
Sure,
I
man.
wanted to create a GitHub account, so I'll send you the link to create that.
Controls window. Audio settings drop down. Share screen button. Tab control. Basic tab selected. Zoom meeting.
All right. My screen came out, right?
Right. And the nice thing about GitHub and Microsoft is that Microsoft owns GitHub. So it actually, if you create a GitHub account, you could use all the resources from Microsoft from your GitHub.
Mhm. Okay.
All right. So just click on GitHub, join.
So we need to create a GitHub account, I assume, right?
Yes. Create the GitHub account.
Okay. So where are we going to get that? GitHub.com.
Yeah, github.com. I posted the link so you
Okay.
could get it there. So github.com/join. Now, the reason why I wanted to get a GitHub account is because in order for you to deploy the websites, you would
code.
need to have an account in order for me to share the resources with you.
Yeah. All right. That's an idea.
HTTPS GitHub.com join link.
GitHub.com join, right? Is it right?
Yeah, /join.
Yeah.
Full public sound WhatsApp folder. Drafts 650 items. Drafts.
Username and thing, yes. All right. You have to put a username for this?
Yes, you had to get your own username.
/600. Select all.
List email address edit required in list username edit.
Same color. HTTPS // text search.
You could use your name itself, right?
Yeah.
Finder. Desktop. WhatsApp. Notifications.
With spaces and so on.
Saturday. Battery.
I don't think no spaces for the username.
Okay.
Finder. Desktop. WhatsApp folder.
Space SSENNU. Space user username Sharon is not available. NN. Username Sharon is not available. Sharon
Browser. Column 1. Close. Finder.
Sharon 4 is available. 9. Sharon 9.
Safari.
Sharon 7.
Web content.
Sharon 7 is available.
Right. So in the meanwhile, Karen, while you doing that, Marlon, you share your screen so I can see what's going on.
Well, that would me because I'm using my iPhone to talk to you on Zoom.
Oh,
So
well, you could join Zoom again, from your computer.
yeah, I'll join the number convenience.
Yeah. Yeah. Just leave the current Zoom that you have on your phone on. So
Show search address text as alternate items. Search for our website. Sound effects folder. Tracks. Blank. Window. Text.
All right, so I'm typing in git dash dash version, right?
Modify. Done. HTTPS.
git dash dash version.
All text in same color. 12 hours ago. https://code.visualstudio.com. All text in same color. 12 hours ago. Done. By beautiful slang. Modify. Christmas is engraved and set for some activists. Star instances of star really suggested at Brent.
Digital.
No spaces or anything, right?
No, git between you have to put a space, sorry, between the git and the dash dash version.
All right.
Strange on here, unknown. I'm not in.
I just gonna type it in the chat for you.
Who's that? Me?
Aaron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
git version 2.292. Da da da.
Yes, correct. So it works.
So how do I exit this? Type exit or alt F4?
You had Alt F4 for that, right?
Okay.
The different ways in which you could exit. In this case, is a standard window. But if you're exiting in Python, you would type something like exit, literally word exit, and open parenthesis, close parenthesis.
Oh, wow, okay.
Right?
List email address edit required test email is in general already parent.
My Elmo.
1, 2, password 3. Password is too short. Minimum is 8. Password is too short. 1, 2, 3. E, I, G. Password is too short. Minimum is 8. 3, 2. Password is in list 1.
Oh, sure.
123 to 321. Learn more about strong passwords link. List with 2 items. Send me occasional product updates, announcements, and offers. Checkbox not checked. Join GitHub document unknown. Join GitHub document. Checkbox not checked. Send me occasional product updates, announcements, and offers. Join GitHub document unknown. Join GitHub document. Learn more about strong passwords link. Folder view G, Google Chrome 10 G, email Google Chrome. Mail inbox Google Chrome. Mail inbox. Link search, link search. Table with column 2 treble 3 net. Column 3 link CVA and 1 double table link code and 1. 1 flip phone.
All text in same. Misspelled.
Mail inbox.
Column.
Link search,
Vertical splitter. Collapse on right.
table with column 2 treble 3
Vertical splitter.
net.
Collapse
1
right.
flip
Edit text insertion at end. Text in same.
Join GitHub Google Chrome.
In table.
Two items email address.
Text in same color 12 hours ago.
Password.
A beautiful boy. HTTP. Sean Dono is inviting you to a scheduled meeting. Edit text insertion at end. Sean Dono is in table. Edit text insertion at search draft. Sean Dono is inviting. Sean Dono is Sean. New line. Topic. Time. New line. Joins me. HTTPS all slash field valley dot zoom. HTTPS all slash field valley dot zoom. Slash get slash 97246696508. HTTPS all new line. Select new line. Select new line. Select new line. 8. Button 8.
List with 6 teams. Link build. Link news. Link professional. Link list. Link list edit level. Link dialog. Link red. Link social impact. Link GitHub. Our list with 5 items 2020 GitHub pinned. Link terms. 20 out of link 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 page script link social link 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 out of list with list edit link help list edit level 2 list with 5 items link help test link elect link add link alter link without out of list with link rollback link 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 viewership link pages our list heading level 2 link header name link insert link get the content info net link go to GitHub page net link first source latest 2000 repeater GitHub table heading level 2 verify your account list with 2 items checkbox check send me a page or product update check others check out of list heading level 2 verify your account button available for GitHub status account view button not available for GitHub setting level 2 verify your account list with 2 items check email preferences out of list link learn more about strong password select make sure it's at least 15 characters or at least 8 characters including numbers and lowercase list with 3 items password within a list of passwords check text box password check password edit protect your account password within a code code selected blank unselected one password key 4 5 G. I password is G. Password within a list of pass A. 5, 4, 3, 1. 345. List with 2 items email preferences. Checkbox check send me a page or product update out of list heading level 2 verify your account. Button notification Sean Noble to everyone. HTTP heading level 2 verify. Button available for GitHub. By creating an account. Button setting level 2 verify your account. List with 2 items checkbox check send me a page or product update. Insert email preferences. Out of list with 2 items letter. Make sure it's
Okay. So I just shared 2 additional links, right? Now these 2 links, one is called Intro to Python and the other one is called Python First Steps. These are Microsoft modules, learning what they call Microsoft Learn training modules that we will be following in order to learn Python properly.
I'm trying to create a account with a proper password. Let me open it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, just let me know when you finish creating the GitHub account.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What are you doing?
Short. Info is 8 characters. Entered in a list of passwords commonly used on other websites.
Doing something.
Pull. 1. Password is 2, 3.
Gallery view button.
I, E, D, E, A, N.
Enter full script gallery.
List of passwords commonly used on other websites. I, G. 3, 2, 1. 123 Heretic 321. List with 2 items email preferences. Checkbox check send me a page or product.
Screen curtain on. Screen curtain off. Enter full screen gallery view button.
I'm not sure why I can't get to create this account.
Stop video.
Oh no.
Share your screen so I can see what's happening.
Currently unmuted. Enter full screen button. Gallery.
Disappeared.
Carrying Buttons has started screen share.
Okay, let
System
me
dialog.
stay in focus.
System dialog.
Oh, okay, good. So I see the challenge is it says, please solve this problem. Sorry, please solve this puzzle so we know you are a real human,
Oh, you see?
right? So you have to verify, right? Okay, press tab. Let me see if it hits verify. Go ahead, tab and tab again. It tabs passes. Okay. All right. So this is a good example of
Inaccessibility challenges, boy.
yeah.
Accessibility challenges.
So, but I know why, right? So, for instance, you have these bots that create accounts. They just literally go through the process of filling out the forms and submitting. And sometimes what you end up with is 100 or sometimes 200 fake accounts on your website, right? So they have these puzzles and all these different things, but we need to find a way to make that accessible. The challenge is if a human couldn't understand it, the computer, the robot could understand it too. So if I put, let's say you had to you had to solve a puzzle that was based on um, you answering a question. So maybe you tell you what is the, maybe it might be something as simple as what cat goes, what animal goes meow, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you would say cat. The computer can understand that too, so it's gonna respond cat.
Right. Right.
Maybe we should do with that same example though.
Yeah.
What animal goes meow? What animal goes "Roar," and then you have to type in the answer.
Right. Well, actually, that might be a good solution. So these are things that we will
What
try
about
to
like mathematical
discuss.
operations, like 2 + 2?
Yeah,
Well, that
computers are
easy.
both at
A script
maths.
can figure that out.
Right?
Or anyway, a script figuring out everything because even the weeks, days of the weeks, of the days of the week, or the months of the year, and thing.
Yeah. Right? All right. So let me help you get past this point. So I'm going to request
I
control.
use the audio capture though to get past that.
Yeah, but I
I
don't
didn't
think
see
they
that.
have audio capture here.
No.
Sean Melville is requesting remote control of your screen window.
Tell me if I get it.
Google Chrome. GitHub privacy statement.
This one is
Okay.
literally a puzzle. Yeah,
Yeah. I didn't see that no audio challenge.
no. Right? Okay, so um okay. All right. So see you're on GitHub. Let me just go back to join. Okay. Okay. All right. If I could view. Okay. Move that here. All right.
I'm clicking join a free plan.
Yes, a free plan.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Shift. Shift tab. Okay. Karen, just give me back control.
Yeah. You have it there, right?
No, it said it just I could only view.
View.
Yeah.
Requesting remote control of your screen window focused.
Alright.
Space.
Nothing there?
Sean Melville is requesting
No, it would change color on my end, so I still don't have access.
you can regain control anytime by clicking on approve decline.
That's not.
Bottom approve decline. E. E. R. O. Approve.
Right. Tell me if I get it there.
Okay, I requesting again.
Sean Melville is requesting
Why not gain this option here? That's not.
remote you can regain approve decline. Decline. Approve.
Approve. Right. So click that number.
Space. Decline. Approve.
Yeah, right now you're not on the correct page, huh? You're on the GitHub Docs file. So you'll have to tab back, go to the other tab.
So trying to give you a remote
Melville is requesting remote control of your screen window focused.
control.
GitHub privacy statement. GitHub docs document. Link. Address and search bar edit as autocomplete CTR. GitHub privacy statement. GitHub docs document. Clickable link. GitHub docs.
GitHub docs have to go. Where have to go now? You said.
Right. So you have to go to the other tab in your browser. I think you have to press Shift Control.
Listen. See where this is going. Hold on.
Remember.
GitHub privacy statement. List with 3 items. All products.
Switch tabs.
GitHub docs link.
You have to press Control tab to go back.
Oh, you mean? Oh, it's Google Chrome tab.
Yeah, Control tab.
Join GitHub. GitHub.
Right.
GitHub. GitHub.
Right. You press back. Remote there again. Let me see something.
Okay.
Right. Tell me. I think you should go there.
GitHub privacy statement. GitHub docs. Clickable link. GitHub docs. List with 3 items. Link all products. Link GitHub.com. List with 32 items. Button collects. Link getting started. Button collects. Link user accounts. Button collects. Link profiles. Button collects.
Yeah, we're there, right?
No. Not have it yet.
Well, what trouble is this? All right.
GitHub privacy statement. GitHub docs document focused read only. Button collects link managing subscriptions and notifications on GitHub. Button collects link organizations and team. Button collects link your enterprise. Button collects link billing and payments. Button collects link writing on GitHub. Button collects link creating, cloning, and archiving repository. Button collects link using Git. Button collects link committing changes. Button collects link collaborating with issues and button collects link managing your work on Git. Button collects link code spaces. Button collects link building a strong. Button collects link searching for information on. Button collects link importing your prop. Button collects link administering a repository. Button collects link visualizing repository data with.
So let's have it.
No, it didn't show up yet. It would. Right now, it's showing you are viewing Karen Gunness's screen. It's supposed to turn yellow and say you're controlling. It hasn't changed yet.
Button collects link managing security vulnerabilities. Button collects link finding vulnerability. Button collects link managing meeting controls row 1 meeting controls window audio settings drop down button. GitHub privacy stick. GitHub privacy button collects link managing large. Button collects link customizing your Git. Button collects link extending GitHub. Button collects link GitHub pages. Button Sean Melville is requesting remote control of your screen window. Melville is request remote of your screen. You can regain control at any time by
Okay. Well, let me ask Aaron. Have you made any progress with respect to the GitHub account?
Yeah, I'm already verifying my account. I use the audio capture.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see that one.
All right. Well, let's go back and see if you can. Just Control tab, because right now you're in the wrong window.
Oh, okay.
Space. Space.
Press Control tab, Karen.
Right,
one more time. Right. Okay. So go back up. I think you might have to press
oh yeah, I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Tab.
Right.
Tab again. Let me see if we could get to the audio capture.
Enterprise link. Explore button collect. Marketplace link. Pricing button collect. Site search landmark button collects pricing. Sign in link. Main landmark list. Username edit required. Karen 81 is available.
Right. So username tab again.
Karen 81.
Tab. Tab again.
I put password there, eh?
Yeah, the password already in. Just tab again.
I feel like I can't change your password then.
Right, continue tabbing.
List with 2 items. Send me occasional product updates, announcements, and offers. Checkbox checked. Join GitHub document. Unknown.
Here, unknown.
Right, change to an audio challenge. Hit enter.
Hit enter.
Yes.
That is where. All right, let me just pick this one.
Unknown. Join GitHub. Learn more about strong list. Password edit protected. Required selected. List. Email address edit required. Bill comma selected. List. Password edit protected. Required select. More about strong passwords link. List. Password edit protected. Required select. Bold. Unselected. Bold. Learn more about strong password. List with 2 items. Send me occasional. Join GitHub. Unknown.
All right, good. So it says press play and type what you hear.
Unknown.
Yeah. Hit enter now.
4606483.
Right.
4606483, right? 4606483. So we're gonna enter.
Right. Tab one more time. Right. Go ahead and write it there.
4 6 0 6 4 8 3.
Right. And then tab and hit enter.
Enter here, right?
Yeah.
Unknown.
Right. Verification complete. So click on create account. Yeah, just tab and until the create account is in focus. Oh no, go back. Shift tab. One right,
Oh,
hit
yeah.
enter now. All right, very nice. You can save your password. So at least you don't have to worry about that.
Save my password.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So let me just.
Local navigation applications you created. Link marketplace. Link explore. Link you have no clickable menu button collects sub and clickable menu button collects sub menu view profile and more. Main landmark heading level 1. Welcome to GitHub. You've joined millions of developers you're interested in. We'll help you get there. Heading level 3. More times of work to use. Main radio button not check software engineer. I like code.
All right. So after see what is this? The software engineering checkbox stuff.
So it says software engineer write code, student I go to school. Well, you want to be a software engineer, so say I write code. Yeah.
All right.
Radio button not check software engineer. I like code. Check.
Right. Cool.
All right. Hit enter.
Manager, I like specs. Radio button not check. That's design. I draw it. Radio button not check.
Okay, now see.
Radio button not check. Marketing sales. I look at charts.
The password already saved. Or I click a button there.
So you have to click the button, but the thing is to get to the window. Right now is a modal button, modal window. So you might have to shift tab until you get that into focus. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like radio. Banner lamp. Clickable create new menu button collect sub menu. You have no unread notification. Global navigation lamp. Marketplace link. Issues you created link. Pull request you created link.
See.
Site search landmark. Search or jump to edit as auto complete. Search or jump to lamp.
Skip the content.
Save button.
Yes, hit enter. Okay. Now, if you did hit save, I didn't see anything change. Oh, look like Karen dropped out.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay.
All right. All right, good. So, Aaron, you done? Adele, let me know what's happening with you.
Adele, you're on mute. Probably.
I hope Adele didn't fall asleep. I think Adele had a lot of these things already set up.
Yeah. Those
I
guys.
was away from the computer for a sec.
Okay, sure. All right, so you have your GitHub account set up. You have Git install and Visual Studio Code, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Nice. Do you have Node installed?
If you mean Node.js, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
I do not.
All right. So let's get some Node installed. right. So sharing the link there, Aaron, you should be able to get it.
All right.
Let me know. All right.
Hey, Jaden. Finally here. We can't hear you, by the way.
Cool. Yes, I see him. All right. All right. Well, Jaden, we could get you started as well. Oh, okay. Power's up. No problem.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to share a link to a challenge that Microsoft has offered called AI for Accessibility, right? The focus of it is on like transportation and how you could utilize AI to help persons with disabilities in the physical world, basically making the physical world accessible using technology, right? So I think it might be something of interest to you guys. You could take a look at it and let me know. And I think if you have a project idea, we could try to make the deadline for the submission.
Oh.
Right? I'll go through it in a second.
So the Node.js is telling me that it's only supported on Windows 8.1 and up.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see if there's a.
That's too bad. That's too bad. What are you even doing with Windows 7 still on that PC anyway?
Hey, I use Windows 7.
Oh, gosh. All right. Let's see. Is there an older package for Node? There should be.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Jaden.
Hi. Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So just be briefed, we going with Visual Studio or VS Code?
VS Code, not Visual Studio. right?
Okay,
Now,
I have that pre-installed.
right. I mean, so you
You
can
guys
use
on what?
Visual Studio if you want. I mean, if you're experienced with Visual Studio, that's fine. But the reason why I went with Visual Studio Code is because it's a little lightweight, right? Wouldn't take too long to set up, and it has a lot of the extensions already prepackaged, right?
Yeah.
Plus, Visual Studio is pretty processor heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's laggy.
It actually took me a few hours to install Visual Studio.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you could do a lot more with Visual Studio though. Like you could do game development, especially with Unity. So you could that's built in. It has packages for like Xamarin. So I mean, if you have the space and the processor power, I mean, go ahead. But
Never
other
give
than
up.
that, I would recommend using Visual Studio Code.
But Visual Studio more like for the .NET ecosystem.
Correct, but you could do other things with it. It's not just only .NET. All right. Okay.
Oops, what's going on here?
All right. So Jaden, I guess you already have a couple of things set up. So you have Visual Studio Code installed, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
right? Do you have Python installed, the Python package itself?
Yeah, Python 3.8.
Okay, good. Do you have Git installed?
Yeah, I have 2.2.
Okay. And you have a GitHub account?
Yeah,
All right, awesome.
after make it, however.
These guys are on the ball.
All right. All right. So guys, I'm gonna share a link. Now we don't have a lot of time to actually do this, but it wouldn't take too long to fill out the application, right? So if you have an idea that is AI
Kevin is back.
based, right? Microsoft has a request for proposal out for cities and transportation that is focused on persons with disabilities and basically how you can use AI and other forms of assistive technologies, utilizing their machine learning, cognitive services, APIs, right? And I could go a little bit in depth into how that works to solve some problem that you may already have. So for instance, maybe you have challenges getting access to transportation, or perhaps you may have challenges navigating obstacles like holes in the pavement, poles, overhanging branches from the trees, speeding cars, madmen, whatever, right? You may have an idea as to how you want to use technology to solve some of those problems. What this particular grant allows you to do is to come up with a plan for a project, and what Microsoft will do is they'll provide you with some of the resources to accomplish that particular goal, right? And so if this is something that interests you, I will see how I can provide you with some guidance on how to write the submission up and submit it, right? The application and then submit it,
Oh wow.
right? It's basically one page, but so I'll just kind of quickly go through the fields, skipping things like your name. Everybody's going to ask for that. All right, so what they're going to ask for is a disability/accessibility lead, the name of the organization. So let's say, for instance, you're a part of Blind Welfare or PAVI, or you have your own organization, you can put that there. Then they're going to ask for a project title. And this, so from that point come down is really where the interesting part is going to be. So the next thing is problem description. So they're going to ask you to describe the problem the project seeks to address, right? So you go into depth, basically no more than about a paragraph with a text there. Then there's the competitive landscape. So you're going to describe if there are other projects that exist. Let's say, for example, Be My Eyes. You're going to talk about that. Then there's a focus area. So, for example, are you focused on employment? Are you focused on daily life, or communication and connection? Those are the three areas that your project could address, right? Then there is a disability segment. So you may choose to focus on something related to blindness or low vision, but the other options would be hearing, mobility, speech, neurodiversity, pan disability, and mental health, right? Then you would briefly describe your solution. You would talk about the impact, and then you will talk about how you could use like AI to solve some of those problems. Then you will also talk about how you would use machine learning to solve the problem. And you would identify some deliverables, provide some information on it, and you would also give some feedback. So if you want, I could go through this in more detail. If not, I'll just let you guys go through it, right? So just give me some feedback as to what to do.
I think it sounds really cool.
All right.
I need some time to think about it. Well, yeah, I guess for me, I could go through it and kind of build the idea based on the criteria that they're asking about.
Okay. All right. So this has to be done by the 15th, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so you don't have a lot of time to do it, but it
Well, I
could
know
be
what time it is
done
tonight.
if you already have some ideas in place. Right. So I'm going to post the link for you.
The 15th is Tuesday, right?
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have a lot of time to like sit down and develop the idea. But yeah, Karen?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I was just talking a little bit about the AI project, the AI grant opportunity with Microsoft. If they want to apply for it, you can. Right. And I'm here to provide any kind of assistance with it. But the main thing is you having an idea and being able to articulate it in writing.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So there's not like an ongoing thing if you do have it like now, you know they have they have the offer on back next year again or something or another time or next 3 months.
Yes. Well, I don't know if they will do it the same topic, but yeah, the AI for accessibility is something that they run, I think, every quarter or so, right? But usually they will have different teams. So I would if I see it come back up again, I would send it out. And also look out for other accessibility based projects and I will send that for you.
So if we don't get we kind of don't formulate the idea today, tomorrow, could we just send you some type of correspondence through email?
Sure, yeah, you could send it to me in email.
All right, because I mean we only have like about 2 more minutes before 6 o'clock, so.
See, I like Jaden online, right?
Yeah, Jaden is here.
Yeah. But what you all could probably do is just give me an idea as to, what are some of the challenges that you all face with respect to transportation, and maybe I might be able to formulate some of that.
For the most part, well, okay. I can tell you from my perspective why I mostly hire vehicles to move around.
Right.
Um, One is a level of security. You don't want that you're walking somewhere or you're going somewhere between transports and somebody grab your phone. You know, you would hear
Right.
these horror stories of someone just grab somebody's phone and where they would grab a phone from a sighted person and then have to run. Somebody grabs your phone from you as a visually impaired person or a blind person, they just tiptoe away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless you have the sense of mind or the presence of mind to start making a huge ruckus like, hey, somebody just took my phone, and you just start acting loud to get some eyes in, in your area.
Right.
So it for me mostly security, and I mean the pavement's bad. I don't know what Microsoft could do about that. like walking around, some of the drains and stuff like that, really crazy. The
Yeah.
pavement
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
uneven, and it's sometimes you're walking and it's a post in the middle of a pavement.
Yes.
So I don't know what Microsoft could do about those things.
So
Outside of,
yeah.
if there was a way for us to create um markers, right? So you create a marker here, and then you save it and upload it to some type of repository or something, so that
Right.
anybody else connected to that app, once they have their phone will give them a notification. You hear your phone notice because it realizes you're about, let's say, 5 feet away from this post. You pull out your phone and I would
I
say,
was thinking
post
that.
in the middle of the pavement. Be careful. Something like
Right.
that. Then you're walking further down, it has some weird uneven steps. You're about to go in an area that's very uneven. So at least you would be aware of it.
Right.
So I guess it could be something like that. That would tie into GPS. Um, and yeah,
Okay.
being
Yeah.
able to
So
share that information. So it's like
so I actually like that because I think it can work twofold, right? So you have the information, of all the different infrastructural uh, obstacles and defects that might be taking place within the city, and you now have a way to collect that information in a central repository. Now, you
yeah,
could use
honestly,
it
yeah,
to
live
warn
updating
people
of
that
it.
these things exist, but you could also use it to inform the government and the let's say the city planning
City
authorities that
corporation and
they
all.
need to actually fix these things, right?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it would give that sort of information and feedback to them, so they don't have to wait until somebody calls into the station and then they have to give them a report as to what's happening in this particular street. You have that more or less in real time, and you'll have the experience of. I mean, I would say I have it too, because I mean, I've almost stepped into open holes on the pavement, so it's
Yeah,
something that everybody could use, not just persons who may be blind. So I like the idea. We could actually work on something like that.
all right.
Right?
Well, as I said,
If I can
I'll
also
get this
interject.
last question out.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Now, another use for it, you could mark down the landmarks for, say, stores or shops and stuff that wouldn't be documented with a GPS app. So now, say you're not familiar with the area and you have the GPS saying, well, Deb's Barber Shop X location, Mary's Bar, that location. So it could also come in handy for that purpose too.
Right. Okay,
And
that
then
makes
for sure.
sense. You have indicators that notify you of places of interest to go to. Okay.
Yeah, but I like that it doesn't just take the GPS information that's already there. Let us have something where we could upload it. So
Map.
if I want to add my house to it, somebody in my area that has access to this app could know how to get to me because
Right.
I uploaded my location. If there's a barber shop on the side of the road, it mightn't be the biggest barber shop, and I know the guy that's take really good haircuts. I could upload his establishment to the repository as well. So now Jaden comes to point, he looking for a haircut, or he just roaming around, he knows how to get there. It'll
Okay.
have to be smart enough to know where you are and what to suggest as well.
Right. And then of course the security aspect to it, because some you may want um to share that information with just a few people and not necessarily everybody, right? Like your where
Right.
you are currently located could be another issue.
No, well, the reason why I use that is just in case of
Yeah.
let's say you have a home business and you want to put it up so that
Right.
people could, know
Good
where it
fine.
is. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of like existing apps, do you all use any apps that already do similar things?
What does
The
Blind
closest thing
Square do?
Soundscape, Blindscape, yeah.
That's the Microsoft Soundscape. I'm not sure how
Mozilla. Let's
similar.
have our next one. Mozilla.
Yeah, that's Rosario.
Yeah, Lazario.
Lazario, I mean, yeah, Lazario. And then Dot Walker Pro. These options, but I'm not sure if they will do what, well, if they normally do the same thing which you were
But is
talking
it
about
community
identity.
driven or is it GPS driven?
GPS driven.
Mhm.
So you
They don't
don't
really
get
have
like
nothing.
all of those in between places.
Nah, they don't have really
Right.
nothing
Now,
that
they don't pick up
I
at,
could think of.
it won't pick up a tree on the road or a sign in it. You know what I mean? Or a manhole.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that is what we need. I've always been asking, as soon as somebody talk about Blind Square or any of these apps that do, I'm like, so can you save a location and it would notify you if you're there? Or could you save a location and share it to the wider public? Because
I
sometimes
think they would have personal beacons, but you can't share them.
there you go. You need to be
Right.
able to share it because Jaden won't go everywhere that I've gone, or Jaden might want to go somewhere that I've already gone. And I could just send him that information.
Right. Right. And that makes sense. Okay. Well, you guys gave me some ideas here as to how we could actually do this. Um, and what I'm thinking of is the resources are, I already have some of the resources to be able to implement it. So outside of this grant opportunity, if you're developing the idea, we could actually work on it because I have access to Microsoft's cognitive services and a lot of other tools for at least the next 5 or 6 months, right?
Mhm.
So if we could develop it before, that would be great, right? So just train it out there that we could do it. It's just for you guys to say yes, and we will
I'm
work on
in.
it, right?
I am definitely in.
All right, awesome. Right. Okay. So
So we'll be collaborating on GitHub.
yes, we will be collaborating on GitHub, and we will also be doing some of the Microsoft Learn modules, right? If you're familiar with Microsoft, they have a lot of training that is available for free, and it covers a wide range of things from Microsoft Azure to Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code, and a range of frameworks and coding languages. So you have, for example, Python, JavaScript and Node. You also have C Sharp, and some of the other languages are there, but they're not really supported a lot, like PHP. Right? But if you know PHP, I don't know if you guys know it, I could also share some of my experience with PHP.
Mm.
And then there are a range of databases as well. So for instance, MongoDB, Cosmos DB, Postgres, MySQL, MariaDB, SQL Server. Right, all these databases that you could access as well. And what else? In terms of accessing Visual Studio, Microsoft Azure, I can give you guys access to resources. So it's not just theory in terms of like, okay, you could potentially set up a MySQL database. I could set up a MySQL database and let you access it, right? Also, the Microsoft Learn modules give you access to it, but it's not something that persists. So you might be able to set up a MySQL database for 1 hour, but then after that time, the resources will go away, right? What I could do is give you access to it for the duration of time that Microsoft has given me the credits for, which is roughly about 6 months, right? And we utilize that. I would have to make sure that the access that you have though is within the credits that I have access to, right? So once it doesn't exceed that, the assets that we build would be on Microsoft for that period of time, and after that I would have to switch over and start paying for anything else that we utilize, right? But as for right now, we can build without any sort of restrictions.
Awesome.
Right. All right.
Spot on.
So, go ahead.
Sean, you want to, Sean, we could create a like a, you could create a like a WhatsApp group for all of us.
Yes, I can create a
yeah,
WhatsApp group. I don't think I have everyone's number, but if I
Yeah, I shared your
you did just
on
now.
email has the numbers on the together with
Okay,
the
I'll
room
just
number.
check back and see.
Yeah, all the numbers they are WhatsApp numbers.
Okay.
So
Right.
we'll be coding it in Python with a PHP backend.
No, Python would be the backend, right? Whereas we could use JavaScript for the front end, right? So like JavaScript with React or Angular, or just vanilla what you call plain JavaScript or vanilla JavaScript. We could use that for the front end, right? And we will use HTML and CSS to do the styling of the site. I haven't fully determined what I'm going to do for the database as yet. We could use either Cosmos DB or SQL Server or MySQL, right?
Yeah, that MySQL is alright, but I'm not sure.
MySQL
I never use
is easy. I mean, I have the most experience with MySQL and writing SQL statements. Do you guys have experience with that? Because I mean, you guys already have a lot of things set up. So just let me know. And I would have a sense as to what we could do.
I do have a SQL background.
Anybody have a background with SQL or at least experience with it?
Not me.
Nope. Nothing.
Okay, all right. So the database, which in most cases will be SQL based, that is what's going to allow us to be able to keep track of, who's going to sign up on the site and that type of thing. Most of the time, the database is what needs to be protected, right? So I will do my best to cover some of that. It wasn't my intention to go into databases, but seeing that most of you guys already have some experience with programming, it would make sense to do database design and in order to make the application actually work, right?
Awesome.
What else?
So what is our application going to do? I mean, within the scope of the course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what I was going to work on, and it's going to be the project for this whole thing, but is the Blind Way Forward, right? The Blind Way Forward is a project that we developed back in 2016. Marlon's brainchild, I should say. It's basically a project that helps persons who may be currently losing their vision to get access to the kind of information that they would need at that point in time to know how to, whether it's cook, clean, find out about assistive technologies, etc. Right? And so I don't know if you guys were born visually impaired or if you acquired a disability later on. But for instance, with Marlon, who he got it, I think when he was about 31, he was sort of like at a loss as to what he needed to do. And so he came up with this concept that if you could package everything, it would make it a lot easier rather than having to talk to different people to try and get the information that you need, right? And so what we did is we actually went to PAVI and Blind Welfare, did a couple of focus groups where we got people to come together to say, this is what we want. And we recorded those sessions and we created like a guide and a documentary, right? So all of that information is on my machine, and we did some distribution via TTT. We had the documentary shown on TTT last year and this year, but for the most part, we haven't shared that material as yet with the community. So what this project will do is it will create the application and the website that we would need in order to distribute that information so that persons like yourself or persons who may be now becoming, um, losing their vision, uh, they can now get access to that information through the website and through the app.
So excited. So
Right?
the app would be able to work on Android and iPhone?
Yes. So what I'm gonna build with the support of Microsoft engineers is a progressive web app, right? What a progressive web app does is it allows you to put your app on Android, on the App Store for the iPhone, in Microsoft Store, and you can access it directly off the web.
Or it's like a web client then.
Yeah. So when somebody goes onto the website, it could prompt them to install the app. And once the app is installed, it will run on the computer as if it is a normal app, right? Now it does have some, I would say some, restrictions in that the app must still be connected to the internet, right? So if you don't have the internet, then you wouldn't be able to save your information, right? But that's the only limitation.
So it's more or less like a front end built for any platform, but that connects you or gives you interaction with the information that is based on online.
Yes, correct.
I am excited.
Right.
And I'll be able to point us further things like we want to do. There's like the foundation. So like we want to build other stuff. We have client styles.
Yeah. So you could build a lot of other things. This information, most of it Microsoft kind of keeps for like partners alone.
And Roger, you could plug in the
Yeah, but what I did is I actually signed up to become a Microsoft partner to get access to the webinars and all the information that they would share, right? And I recorded some of them so that it would be easier for us to figure out how to do this, right? Boy, my little child is being very
She knows after 6.
Yeah. And I also have access to talk to Microsoft engineers via consultation. So all I have to do is just say, okay, I want to talk to a Microsoft engineer, give them a brief idea as to what it is we want to do. And then we will set up a consultation and I could talk with them for maybe about 2 hours just to address some of the challenges that we might be facing.
All right.
Right? So I already did that to get an idea as to what we need to do. For example, with the login and the administration of the passwords.
Right.
So any further developments, things that you guys want to do, I can arrange for another meeting.
Mhm.
Wow, this is gonna
Right.
be so cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
I look at the long term, you know. I look at the long term.
yeah. And
Yeah.
also, I mean, if you guys are up to it and I have the jobs coming in, I could work with you guys on those projects as well.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Karen, I am just remembering who who everyone is. This is the
Including
guy that
Sean.
program maybe 2016, 17, somewhere around for the money up.
Oh no, I didn't do the money app, but that was Jesse Saitu, he did the money app, but I I'm aware of it because I was right there when the money app idea was being conceived.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Right. You know, he so Mobi well, Sean, you publicize Mobi Assist?
Yeah, so I developed the Mobi Assist,
He's the Mobi
which
Assist
is
man, Aaron,
yeah.
which is a guidance. You know, I'm still waiting to test that, you know, Sean. I want to test it myself.
I want to test it. Okay. Well, I mean, I have
Like,
it here,
if
like that we could actually do it. I mean, when COVID goes away,
yeah.
we can meet up and you could try it out for yourself.
Is a physical device, guys.
Yeah.
Not a app for phones and so on, a standalone, where you actually wait on your person, and you walk around and you know it sounds real, but I didn't get it tested yet,
Yeah. So the
and it
Yeah,
tells you
that
some
was the
things.
person who was on
Probably
plantain
what you were talking about, Aaron, but in a
yes, I was on
standalone
planting seeds.
Yeah, I see
version.
that.
Yeah. So that again, that idea was Marlon's idea. All
Yeah.
right. Actually it was the very first idea that we worked on, which was at Startup Weekend back in 2014, in which I met Marlon for the very first time. And one of the things that Marlon was pitching was that, he says, I'm blind, I can't see past my nose. I need something that could help me with navigation. And I was listening to Marlon, I was thinking about, the fact that you could have self-driving cars. Why not create a device that could help persons, who are totally blind with navigation? And so we put our heads together and actually created the Mobi Assist device. I built the prototype and he more or less indicated what the device needed to do. And from there, we were able to win the startup weekend based on the demonstration of the concept. Uh, After startup weekend, we then applied to the Idea to Innovation competition, which was by the then previous government. And we won that and we were able to build the device with the funding that we got from the government, right? And since then, I've more or less been focused on projects related to disability and spent a lot of time just doing the research, figuring out what are some of the challenges the community faces, understanding the technology itself, because I wanted to not just talk about assistive technology, but also to understand how the assistive technologies work, right? So that's fast forward to today, which is now we could actually do these type of projects, right?
So question: when
Yeah.
you say building Mobi Assist, what does that mean? Did
Oh,
you
so
just in
by
China?
building it, I mean you had to buy components like ultrasonic sensors, microcontrollers, all the different electronic components, program it, and actually tell it what to do, essentially,
And what did you
right?
put that inside of? Like, is there like a
Okay, so we didn't have a casing for it. So we had left it on a prototype stage. So the ultrasonic sensors were all arrayed in such a way that it could point down to detect obstacles at the ground at
right?
chest height and just above head height, right? Now this
It
was
might pick up
purely
battery.
just raw electronics. So there's no case for it as yet. You rest on your chest, and these electronics now would sense what's in front of you, to the side of you, and give you feedback such as left clear, right block, right clear, left block, right, up to a certain distance, right?
That's
And we tested it out, and Marlon was able to walk around within an indoor environment in the laboratory in UE and get around obstacles such as like a column, right? As big as a column, maybe as small as a pool. And that was something that was, very eye-opening for the both of us because it meant that it wasn't just a concept anymore, it was something that was actually doable, right? The challenge is that how do you get the investment for it, right? So we know that we could have someone who's totally blind, like Marlon, navigate around a space without any use of the keying, but you still need to make it something that is wearable, something that is affordable. So you could wear it, you could afford to pay for it. It must have a viable business model that goes with it, and the investors must believe that they can make back the money, right? So that is where the challenge is from my perspective, which is how do I take this prototype and turn it into a product that will be affordable for the community and would still make money for the investors.
Sound good, right, Aaron?
Could we talk about the price that you all would have paid to get the prototype built?
The prototype or the product?
The product here.
Okay, so the product, in terms of there's two aspects to the product. You have the design or the engineering of it, and then you have the mass production.
Okay.
Right. So like to do electronics based products, you need to have the electronics and the embedded engineer. You need to have a software engineer potentially, or the embedded engineer might do both software and hardware design. You will need to have an industrial designer to come up with the actual shape and look and feel of the product, right? And of course, you need to have all the other design slash product criteria, etc. So when you have your team coming together, the estimate that I had come up with was basically 500,000 TT dollars to do a first design.
Wow.
Right? Because it could take you have several people all working together to make this product a reality, right? And then you need to pay for testing, right? So you need to have what you call FCC certification from a lab. And that in itself is very costly because we don't have a lab in the Caribbean that does FCC certification. We would have to send it to either Brazil or to the US, right? And you're talking about like 20,000 US dollars just to do the testing.
That might be something to invest in.
Yeah, right.
Creating a lab, the SEC.
Yeah, well, the challenge we have in the Caribbean is that we don't have any labs, right?
That's why if we could do a lab, that is a good investment in itself, because then everybody around us would probably come here to do it.
Well, yes and no. And the reason is, I would say no, is because we don't have enough developers in the Caribbean who are making products that we could sell to the rest of the world, right? So all they would be doing is just testing what the rest of the world sends to verify that we are getting the right quality of product, which is what the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards does. But the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards doesn't have its own lab. So what they do is they take the import manifest document that says that this product was tested by a third party and that it is of good quality, and then they allow it to come into Trinidad. The problem is that anybody could forge an import manifest document. So we have a lot of what you call the bootleg products coming into the country, or sometimes sub quality products, and we have no way to verify that it actually is up to par with the requirements.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, so you're selling about 30 seconds. Takes the fees for a device.
Right. So you have the manufacturing costs, right? And in order for you to get a certain volume of product out there, you need to purchase like I think is like 1,000 pieces or something like that. So you need this is a minimum order quantity, right? Let me just put it that way, right? That's you need to order before a manufacturer will take your order from for your product,
Right.
right?
Like on
And
AliExpress.
yes, yeah, right. And of course, if it is you're designing it, they need to also ensure that their rig or whatever it is that they're using for the manufacturing is actually designed to actually produce your product,
Right.
right? So sometimes what you do is you go to that country, let's say it's China. Yeah, you have to actually physically go to the country to inspect the manufacturing plant and see that the person really is who they say they are and they have the capabilities. So that's another
Cost.
cost. Yep. Yeah. So that's one of the primary barriers to any kind of innovation that takes place in the Caribbean because you could have a good idea, you know it works, you've demonstrated it, but because you don't have the kind of capital that you're required to do it, and the actual backing from investors, it kind of gets shelved, right? I have tried my best to not allow these things to die.
Right.
So what I've actually done is kind of switch from physical hardware based design to software, which I know I could actually get to market with.
Excuse
Right?
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, officially I finished, right? Because I have to leave. No. So,
Oh yeah, we're done.
yeah.
So I was just
All
kind
right.
of talking about
Yeah, no problem.
the AI and the grants and stuff like that.
All right, good. Anyway, guys, well, it was nice first session. So I'll see you all.
Yeah.
We will chat.
Sure.
Sean,
Right,
once
Karen.
again, we will talk.
All right,
Later,
cool.
man.
And children,
No,
Adele and Jaden and Marlon, everybody, good evening, good night.
yes.
Like,
I see
All right.
Kevin has just joined us, so I could
Yeah.
probably get Kevin started. Let me just give you an idea as to what we did.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Is this Karen? So Kevin, we
Yeah.
installed Visual Studio Code, right? I'm going to share the link for you, and what you could do is try to get that installed one time, right?
On my system.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So once you install Visual Studio Code, right, it shouldn't be too difficult for you to get that installed. You then have to install Python, right?
Just click on it and install it.
Right. So Kevin, if you're having any challenges, what you could do is you could share your screen and I will walk you through the process.
Okay.
All right. And guys, if you have any other questions, just let me know. If you guys want to go, you could pop out as well. Just let me know. Right.
This code, what did you give me a little update as to what this code? What is
Kevin,
what is it?
your mic is a little bit soft, so either you could increase the volume on it or come closer to the mic.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, this code, what is this code want to do? What this is part of the tutorial. What is the
Oh, okay. So Visual Studio Code is the development environment that you need to write applications, right? Without a development environment, you would be writing your code in like text files, right? Like a notepad. But that doesn't help you when you want to write the code to execute it. And there's no way to really help you with any kind of errors that you might make in writing code. You can't you can't like check it properly in a text editor. So what Visual Studio Code does is it creates this environment where you could write any language, and I'll explain what the different languages are, like Python, PHP, JavaScript. If you've ever heard of any of these languages, essentially what it do is it tell the computer to execute a certain line of code or logic, and it would tell the computer what to do. So you could tell the computer, open a window. You could tell the computer to save a file or save a certain data. When you put all these different commands together, you create a program, right? And essentially that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be writing lines of code that the computer interprets, and then it uses that now to interact with other people's other computers as well as other human beings, right? So maybe it might be you wanted to build a website that somebody could sign up for an account on and then use that account to do something with it, right? Maybe it's, for example, YouTube. You might want to use that account to view videos. If you're on Facebook, you might want to use the account to make posts and make interact with friends. If you if you have a bank, maybe you might want to access your account, check your balance, make a payment. Perhaps you might also want to do a transfer from one account to the next. So programs are basically tools that we use to do something with it. And you are going to define what that something is.
okay? So download it now.
Yes, so I want you to download it and install it.
Okay. How are you sharing the screen?
Okay. At the bottom of the screen, you should see the green button that says share screen, right? If you go down to the menu bar at the bottom of the window,
Yeah.
right, you'll see a green button that
Optimize
says
screen sharing.
share screen.
Yep. Share screen.
All right. And Kevin, do you have any challenges typing and stuff like that on the keyboard?
Well, I have to type one finger, but I'm very familiar with the keyboard. But as I said, type that I don't have, like just type just like that, like how a person is type. I type one.
All right, no problem. All right, so what I will do for you is we will install an extension called Serenade AI. What Serenade AI allows you to do is instead of you having to type everything out, you could speak and the computer will interpret your voice.
Okay.
Right? So I think that would help you a lot because I understand the challenge, right? But you have no problems with being able to, you should be able to speak and the computer would interpret your voice correctly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good. So I've seen that you're off the screen there. So what I want you to do is click on Visual Studio Code.
All right, folks. I'm going to step out now.
All right, sure. No problem, Gina. We will
Everyone have a
connect.
good evening.
Yes, you too. We will reconnect next week, Saturday.
Okay.
All right.
I'm also going to step out. It was a pretty enjoyable session.
All right. You're welcome, Eliel.
All right. See you next Saturday.
All right. Take care, man.
I think I'm sort of lost here.
All right. Oh, you. Where's the window? Go back up.
Top.
Where's the? Okay. All right. Let me help you out here, Kevin. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna request remote control. So once I do the request, you're just gonna give me access, right?
Okay.
All right. Then. So, control. All right. Okay. Okay. Yes, Aaron. I was recording the class.
So basically, you just download the code.
Yeah. So when you download this, now I'm trying to get this to work. I'm not sure why this is not responding though. Try on your end to see if you could get download for Windows to work.
Download for Windows.
Yeah. See if you could get this button to click.
Which button? The whiteboard.
This one, download for Windows stable build.
I'm seeing that.
You don't see that at all?
I'm seeing whiteboard.
We looking at two different things?
I have a screen in front of the code. It's a Mac screen. So I have whiteboard and iPhone/iPad.
No, I'm not seeing that. Okay,
And
just
behind that have the visual. That the Visual Studio Code.
okay. All right. Okay. Shift. Mm.
You able to get it to download?
No, because some wow.
I just have a screen in front of me giving you options. To share screen. Do I close that off because I see in the background
Okay.
video studio code? But I can't the
I can't
screen.
see it. But what does it say on that screen? Just tell me again.
Is it share screen and giving you different options? It's blocking off the visual studio code screen.
Oh, okay. Well,
Right?
close it off now. Let me see.
Right. Now I see in the download video studio. Right click Windows.
Yeah, click on it. Right, good.
Save it on the desktop. Save it on that. So I click save.
Oh, yes, click save. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. Just to give me a second. I'll come back now.
Yeah,
Go
okay.
ahead and install it. Just double click on the file there to go.
All right, okay.
All right.
It asking me some other things here. I don't know what.
Okay, create a desktop icon.
Right.
Right, and
add open with code.
yeah, you could add open with code action to Windows Explorer file context. Yeah, and then you could go ahead and proceed.
What about register as a code tutor? Not that leave that blank.
Oh, I can't see anything. So I'm trying to pull it up here. Register code as a for supported file types. No, you don't need to do that.
Click next.
Yeah.
So basically, you can do websites with this as well.
Yeah, so you can build websites, you can build certain types of games, right? You have what they call HTML5 games, but you're not limited to that. You can build mobile apps, desktop apps as well.
Okay.
Right.
So
So, I mean, the only
limitation
limitation is really just what you could imagine your application doing. Right? Okay, so go ahead and hit launch Visual Studio Code.
So you're gonna show us how to do those things, or
Yeah, so I have a project that we're going to work on, but of course you're not limited to working only on the project that I share with you guys. You're welcome to propose your own ideas.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Visual Studio Code is launched. Right. So I want you to install some extensions for me. So you see just below that bug with the triangle on it, it's called, that's called the debugging tool. Below that is called the extensions tool. So I want you to go to extensions. I just clicked on it for you,
Extensions.
right? Extensions here.
That is
And we go,
right. Oh, the on your right.
right. And I want you to install Live Share, right? So you're gonna search for Live Share, LIVE. Right. You see it in the list there?
Yeah, on the top.
Yeah. So you're gonna click on install.
Installing.
Yeah, it's installing.
So would you say typing is a you need to be able to type to do these enter all these codes? Is it something that
So
require a lot of typing and so on?
Kevin, normally it would require a lot of typing, but what I'm going to do for you is to install the Serenade.ai plugin, which allows you to code with your voice. So you will tell it a couple of commands, and those codes will come up on the screen.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't have to worry about having to type.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So LiveShare is installed. The next plugin we're going to install is the Python extension. All right.
Python, Python.
Yeah. Py. So you see that come up there? Python. Pyth.
When?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, I see it. Install.
Yeah, install. Okay, you need to go back to the extension. I'm going to click on it for you. Right. We're going to install a couple others. So the Python for VS Code and the Python extension pack. All right, just to get you going.
All this is new to me. I don't know anything really about I don't know anything about writing codes and all that.
That's
It's a
okay.
new thing to me.
That, that's all right. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere, so you're not anywhere badly off. Okay. All right. So there's an extension which is not available here, so we have to go back to the browser. So just we're gonna minimize this screen.
Mhm.
We're gonna go back to Google Chrome. You could find that for me because I'm not seeing it on the screen. Right.
Seeing it.
Right, good. We're gonna find Serenade. That's not setting. Just now I'm gonna type in here, right?
Yeah. So this voice command you're downloading, it can use for other applications as well,
No, just for coding.
or just for coding. Oh. But yeah, to also ensure that it interpret what you're trying to write. You gotta make sure it's correct.
Yeah.
Um,
If you want to use voice, just tell me what are you using? Are you on? Is this Windows 8, Windows 10?
this is Windows. I using is Windows XP.
No, I don't think you have Windows XP. That'll be either Windows 8 or Windows 10. I mean, some people have Vista and Windows 7.
I think it's Windows 7.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if it will work for Windows 7, but what you can do is press the Windows key plus the letter H, and you
Yeah.
should be able to get the built-in voice. There was this called again. That's not. I'm gonna press it and hopefully it will come up.
Windows
E
and
plus H. Yeah, and you should be able to yeah, it's called dictate. You should be able to use dictate, right? Dictate would allow you to actually speak, and the Windows would interpret your voice and actually write it in text.
I press Windows F8, nothing come up.
Not F8, Windows key and the letter H.
Oh, Windows and I see nothing. Nothing.
Okay. A little mic didn't come up at the bottom of the screen.
No, I ain't seeing anything.
Okay. Well, you probably don't have the Windows, the correct Windows fit. All right. All right, but we're gonna download Serenade.ai. So let's go ahead with that.
It's download already.
Your download should start automatically. Okay. Well, if it did, let's go on the desktop and see.
I think it's saying save.
It's saying save. Okay, we'll go ahead and save it. Okay, did it download?
Yeah, download.
Okay, all right. So, all right. So you're going back to your desktop here. Right. So you see Serenity.ai. You're going to install that. Oh, 64-bit Windows is required.
What do I mean by that?
Okay, so you have different Windows operating systems. You have 32-bit and 64-bit, right? Sometimes programmers would write the applications to work on both, but I'm not sure if they have a 32-bit version for this particular application. But what you could do, let's go back on the site and see if that is available.
Okay.
All right. Just open back up the window, right then. Yeah. All right. So
Is that the only one that can work with code, or it have others?
well, actually, that's the only one that I've seen so far that works, right? Uh, yeah. Uh,
It doesn't give much instruction.
yeah, I'm not seeing that at all. No, no additional information. Now, this is not a very popular tool in particular, but it worked. So I'm gonna try and see if there's a way in which you could get it to run. Um,
all those persons that was on the platform, what type of disability type that they have?
They are either visually impaired, with low vision or blind, 182.
Okay. So they will be using the same application.
Yeah, so everybody's using Visual Studio Code, but you would be, in this case, you were supposed to use Serenade AI, right? They would have utilized something called NVDA, which is a screen reader,
Okay. For
right?
they will just see the screen.
Uh, yeah, so you could see the screen while they can't, but the screen reader would read out everything for them. But in your case, you need something that could help you with your coding in terms of instead of having to type everything,
Yeah.
right? What I didn't think about was that your computer wouldn't be compatible,
Oh.
right? What I'll do is I will look for some to see if there are any alternatives to this particular plugin, right?
Yeah. Sure. What to click here? Yes or no?
Right. But we will do one other thing before we close off. I will install Python for you, right?
What is asking here? Do you want the following program to make changes to this computer?
Oh, click yes, because I can't see anything. Go ahead and click yes. Okay, same thing, say 64-bit Windows. Okay, so let me just check on your operating. I'm going to go to my computer and check and see what the specs are. Okay, so you're using Windows 7. Okay, Windows 7. And do you have access to another computer perchance?
Yeah, but it says a dinosaur. I just have it just parked up there. It was actually my deceased wife phone, but
Okay.
I can't even browse in that properly.
All right, all right.
Tried it already.
Okay, so I understand the challenge. No, I don't know if there are any, because you have Windows 7, it's not even, it's Windows 7, before Windows 7 was, you had Vista 7, Windows 8.
Windows
All right.
8, most recent software.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you might want to look into upgrading, because you probably wouldn't be able to get much applications, and you're also vulnerable to viruses.
Oh.
All right, but for the time being, let's see if we can get the other programs installed. Okay. All right, so just open up the browser again for me. Open back up Google Chrome.
So these applications require a large amount of space there.
No. This doesn't require a large amount of space at all.
I'll have to upgrade to Windows 8 then.
No, Windows 10. Right, but it depends on whether your system physical hardware could actually take it, right?
Okay.
Okay, so Windows.
They don't have to pay for that.
Pay for what?
Yeah, the key, some kind of key for the Windows, like if you upgrade it.
Oh, well, recently Windows started allowing you to use the operating system without the key, right? Now, it would still say you need to activate the license, but it doesn't shut down your computer,
Oh, okay.
right? And if you already have, let's say, for example, a registered or licensed Windows, I don't think it would ask you for the key,
Oh,
right? Because basically all you would be
yeah,
doing is upgrading, and they would allow you to use the old key, right?
because it's a IT guy and work to install it, so I'll rather ask if he,
Okay.
yeah, but
Tell me if you see in the download link because I'm not seeing anything on the screen here. So when I go to downloads, I go to Windows, it should have something that says download, but I'm not seeing it.
um,
Oh, okay. Right.
save it.
So if it yeah, save it.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put all these in one folder to keep it in order on my desktop.
Okay. Well, I mean, you don't necessarily need to keep the files, huh?
Like,
Right. Just once the installation is successful, you could delete all these files from the computer.
okay. So although you delete it, it will still be saved.
Yeah, it's already installed, so you don't need to keep it,
Okay.
right? All right. Did it save? Because I can't see anything, eh? Just
Let me see this now. Yeah, okay.
all right. So click on open it for me. Oh no, that's not the exe file, is it? Python, okay. Okay. Let's go back on the site and look for the .exe file. All right. Go back on into Google Chrome. All right. All right. All right. So if it is a window that says to download or to save, just go ahead and click it for me.
Okay. I see in Windows embeddable package 32-bit.
Okay. Because that's what we just clicked on.
Yeah.
Oh, not the right. We want the installer. My bad. Right. We want the installer. Windows. All right. Save it. Oh. Oh. Okay. Let's see. So you need. All right. So if we could find the Windows 7 version, I think that would help. But all right. Delete. Okay. All right, go back to the browser. Let me see if I can find the Windows 7 version.
Maybe I can take any search bar.
Anything showing up here? Because I can't see the results.
Let's see. This now. Just telling about the releases and different code. Instead of writing, I ain't seeing anything ready to install.
Okay. Rebecca, I think one of them might be able to install. But we have to go for like Python 3.5 or something. Let's check that out.
Say release Python 3.510. That different releases.
Yeah. So we need to get one of the older releases, right? So let's try this one and see. Gosh, boy.
What this Python software is about? That is
Okay, so Python is a programming language that you could use to command the computer and tell it what to do. So an example of what Python could be used for would be to go to a database and pull information on a specific customer, right? So let's say you bought something from Amazon. Amazon would then store that information in a database, right? It would store information on, for example, what was the price of the product, who bought it, when they bought it, where was it shipped to, that type of thing, right? The programming language, in this case Python, would take that information from you, the customer, and store it in the database. And when you go to retrieve that, let's say somebody who is doing the ordering, they would now see that you put in an order, the Python language would pull that from the database and tell them that you ordered this particular product,
okay.
right? Okay. Now, these languages, they tend to change a lot. And as you see in this case, they become outdated. So Python 3.5 is outdated for most Windows, but because you are using Windows 7, we have to try and get that particular file to download.
Okay.
Okay, tell me if it says that if it allows you to download, because I see in here, click on the button below to start the download, but I can't see anything.
It's asking it to accept something.
Okay, go ahead and accept it from there. Okay. All right, go ahead and save it.
I click yes.
Oh yeah, go ahead and click yes and so.
What about the version that already installed, right? Uninstall that, or that will just link up with this one?
Is it saying that you already have Python 3 point something installed?
No, but seeing the shortcut on the desktop.
No, go ahead and install this because you might have an older version of Python,
Oh, okay.
right? So what we need is Python 3 and above,
Okay.
right?
Right, installing.
Okay. E. That's not.
Projects you're working on so far?
Projects, well, I have a couple client projects that are trying to complete before the end of the year. One is to help entrepreneurs basically get, well, he's building a website that will help entrepreneurs by providing them access to like marketing, business advice, and what's the other thing that he's doing? Oh, he's providing a marketplace for them to sell, right? The other lady I'm working with, she's doing an online school. So her focus though is in the medical in the medical arena. So she's doing like clinical care, um, elderly care, that kind of thing,
Okay.
right? And well, this is one of my main projects that I want to see how I can push. So at least if I can get this done, like you guys learn how to code, then we could proceed to the next step, which is how do you develop projects,
Right,
right? All right, awesome. So I see this is finished, right? All right, so just go ahead and complete the setup.
Let's see, and then let's see it install it.
It's still okay.
So I now see why these things is so costly, because it takes a lot of time, but
Yeah, it does. I mean, just to install these things, you have to know the correct version for the particular operating system. And then when you go to put this into production, you also need to do the same thing too. So when you write your code, you have to now know that you could only run this on an operating system that uses Python 3.5, right? If you use any of the features that are obsolete in the new version, your code wouldn't work,
Oh.
right?
Once you use it within the specs of the computer, it will still work.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It
But there are some workarounds for that. So there's this technology called Docker, right? It's called a container, right? So what you do is you create this containerized version of a Windows operating system or any operating system for that matter, and it simulates that on the internet, right? So you don't have to have the actual development environment identical to the production environment, right? But at this point in time, that's a little bit too far ahead to really go into and explain in depth.
Right.
All right? Okay, so go ahead and close this off. Right. And what I want you to do now is to go to the command line. So you're going to have to type CMD in search.
That is where
Go to, so you would click on your start. You should see something that allows you to search.
right.
Right? Type
Right.
CMD.
CMD. Right.
Right, and press enter.
CMD enter.
Yeah, CMD and then type and hit enter on the keyboard.
Right. Well, I see now a whole lot of things coming up there under CMD.
Do you see a terminal window coming up?
No. Or do I have to click on the CMD?
Yeah, click on CMD.
Right.
Right,
I see
good.
black screen.
All right, so that black screen is what we want. Okay, so what you're gonna do now is type Python. And we're gonna type -- version. Oops, not correct. No. Python dash. Okay. -v. That's not. That's not correct. So what's going on here? Just now, give me a second to try it on my computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Python -- version. Okay, so that's Python. Huh. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is gonna type out a command. This is not in programming. Sometimes the very first thing you do is just test to see if it works. And one of the most popular ways in which you do that is you print out a statement, hello world, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It can be hello anything, but we just continue by convention. We're gonna say print hello world and it works, right?
Right.
Okay, so right, so you could do that. So this is called the interactive um, window. So you could type commands in here. Like let's say, for example, I say 5 plus 5. Oops. 5 plus 5. And it gives you 10, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. So this is one way in which you could write code, but this does not allow you to save your code. Okay? So the way in which we are going to do it is we're going to write scripts. Right? When we write the scripts, we can run the scripts afterwards and it would show up. But we will do that another day. Right? So this is just to show you how this works. So let's say I wanted to say, let's say first name. Let's say you have a website and you want to store the first name of the customer, right? I'm going to use your name here, first name equal Kevin. Right, last name. Kevin, what's your last name again?
Bushel.
Bushel.
Two L's.
12, okay. All right, so now we can see full name equals oops, first name right, and then we're going to print full name. You see how that works?
So it give you an answer to certain things to type to get an answer. This and the how you put it on.
Yes, yes. I see Aaron here saying we didn't test his own. Don't worry, we will get to that point, Aaron. I just wanted to do a quick demonstration because the Python dash dash version wasn't working, right? But we know that Python is functioning here. All right. So Kevin, I will end here, right? And we will continue next week. What I will do is I will send you some additional things. In this case, I will send you some stuff in Python that you can try out for yourself.
Okay.
Right? And we'll continue.
All right, no problem.
No, we didn't do the node.js as yet, Aaron.
So what to do with the things that wasn't installed in the system? Leave it there or?
Okay, so the only one that didn't install was Serenade.ai. You could delete all the other installations because those were done. Like for instance, VS Code, the file itself, don't uninstall anything. Just delete the files that were downloaded.
So don't uninstall Cerulean.
Yeah, and just leave the Serenade.ai. I will try to find the 32-bit version to it, and hopefully they have that version. All right, because I know you will have difficulties with typing and that. Okay.
All right.
All right, cool. So have a blessed night, guys. All right, I'm just gonna stop the sharing. All right. So until next week, guys, take care.
Okay, bye.
All right.